We'll finish the lesson from yesterday, next week, or whenever. Well, we're going to go ahead and start the 3-3. Actually, did Megan tell you not to pick up the sheets?
We just didn't grab them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's okay. I told you to tell them to not pick up the sheets. That's all right. Let's get the sheets for class. While you're getting those, I want you to start thinking about your saving goals. So some of you may have saving goals that are small. Some of you may have saving goals that are big. What would be a small savings goal that you may have? Anybody have a small savings goal like, I don't know, anybody want to get a new cell phone? Anybody want to get
A new car.
Okay, that might be a larger one. Okay, so if you're working for a new car, have you started to save for it yet?
Yeah.
Okay, are you saving in small increments or larger increments?
Kind of large.
Okay, so are you having money taken directly from your check going into savings, or are you manually putting money into your account each time?
Manually putting it.
Okay, so Noah, are you saving for something?
Yeah, I'm getting a truck here in Bismarck.
Okay, how are you saving?
Well, I've been saving for a while, so.
Okay, are you making
direct.
manual deposits whenever you can?
Direct paycheck.
Okay, so do you have all your paycheck go into savings or into two separate accounts?
Just in savings.
Directly into savings, and you don't touch it, or you only
Yeah.
take out what you need?
Take out what I need.
Okay, fantastic. So we're going to be talking about different strategies to save today. We got a couple articles to read, and we have a couple of short videos to watch. So has anybody heard of the strategy 50-20-30? No. Okay. We are going to start by reading that article. AJ, let's start with you today. It's the new to budgeting. Why should you try the 50-20-30 rule?
If you're new to budgeting, figuring, or how to manage your money, each month can feel overwhelming. Not only do you need to organize, but you also have to make difficult decisions about how to spend your cash. Relying on the experiences of others can help only so much because your income and expenses are unique. Someone may be able to spend $2,000 per month on rent in Arlington,
Virginia. Mhm. That's good.
but that kind of spending may not work for you.
But there's good news, you don't need complicated spreadsheets with countless spending categories, and you don't need to be a financial expert to understand how much money you can spend. You simply need to follow the 50-20-30 rule.
The 50-20-30 rule helps you build a budget by using 3 spending categories. 50% of income should go to your living expenses and essentials. This includes your rent, utilities, and things like groceries and transportation for work. 20% of your income should go to financial goals, meaning your savings, investments, and debt reduction payments. You have debt. 30% of your income should be used for flexible spending. This is everything you buy that you want, you don't necessarily need.
Keep in mind that the percentages for essentials and flexible spending are the maximum you should spend. Falling under those guidelines can leave more money for our financial goals.
How to start a 50-20-30 budget. Figure out what's happening with your finances. First, look at your pay stubs to determine exactly how much money you bring home each month. That's your income, what you'll spend, what you'll base your 50-20-30 split on. If you're self-employed, be careful to track your earnings and understand your average income per month so that you can budget accordingly.
Next, strategy budget. There's certain things in every last one from big stuff such as rent to a pocket that you can go through. You divide your spending into one essentials, financial goals, and flexible spending. From here, adjust your spending to ensure you're falling into the 50-20-30 framework. If you're overspending on stuff you want but don't need, it's time to cut back to save more.
Why the 50-20-30 rule works? It keeps your personal finances simple so you can pay your bills, add to your savings, and have the freedom to use some money just for
Novice, yep, you're good.
There is no uncertainty if your action steps are clear, and it even provides your savings, investments, and other financial goals. This makes it much more likely that you'll stay the course or ultimately reaching your desired financial stability.
Very good, thanks Alex. AJ?
The 50-20-30 rule also offers some flexibility. You can bend it a bit by altering the percentages to make it work better for you. It's not about the exact percentage breakdown because all budgets will be slightly different, says Eric Roberts, a financial planner who specializes in helping professionals and entrepreneurs at Beyond Your Hammock. The key is to take action and use a system to help you stay consistent in managing your money every month and making sure you're covering your expenses, being responsible by saving for tomorrow, and giving yourself some room to enjoy life today.
Okay, so why do you think the 50-20-30 rule is easy for people to follow, especially for those who are new to budgeting and saving? What would be easy about using the 50-20-30 rule?
Because you just figure out your percentages and then you base it off of that.
50% is pretty easy to figure out. It's half of what your expenses are, so your major expenses, 50%. So the article recommends that 20% of your income is meant to be your savings, investments, and payments to reduce debt. What are the potential risks of having all three of these buckets belonging to the same category? Joey, what do you think one of the problems would be having all three of those only being 20%?
Might not have enough money to pay all them things.
Yeah, if you have a lot of debt, do you think it might be hard to pay it down if you're only using 20%? And if you have a lot of debt, are you gonna be saving much? It might take a while to be saving. But if you have 30% where you have choices of what to do, then you might, if you have a lot of debt, then you could use some of that money. It's flexible, right? Okay. So next, we're going to watch a quick video. It's only about 2 minutes.
One of the most important bills to pay is the bill paid to yourself. By putting a portion of each paycheck away into a liquid savings account, you're supporting your future retirement, expenses, and unforeseen emergencies. You can set up your savings deposit one of two ways, automatically or manually.
The key to saving for most people is to automate the process. You want to pay yourself first by setting up direct deposit from your paycheck into a dedicated savings account.
By setting up direct deposit, your bank will transfer a percentage or fixed amount of money into your savings account monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly. Advantages? You can set it up and forget about it. By never seeing that money, you won't be missing anything. This can also help you live on a smaller budget without even knowing the difference.
Now, a disciplined person may prefer to move the savings over manually, but for most people, that's not going to work, because if you wait till the end of the month to save what's left over, for many people, there's nothing left over.
By manually putting money into your savings, you can see how much you are taking out of each paycheck and watch your savings grow. This might be an option for you if your paycheck amount varies from week to week. For example, if you get a $400 paycheck for 2 weeks, but only $100 for the next 2, you probably don't want direct deposit to take a set amount of money out every other week. Depending on your financial situation, one form is better than the other. But which one?
Automatic savings. It's easier, you just have a fixed amount that you won't see it, it'll go automatically to your savings account, you don't have to worry about it every month.
I would rather have it manually because I have control over it, so I know how much exactly is going in.
Direct deposit,
Why is that?
because it saves me the time of going to the bank.
I would rather have it be automatic because I feel like I would take it out for kind of silly things.
I'd rather put the money in manually myself. It seems a lot safer.
Check out the simple savings calculator on bankrate.com under the checking and savings tab. It's an easy way to calculate how much you can save over a period of time. For bankrate.com, I'm Teresa Hines.
Okay, so what does it mean to pay yourself first? Joanne?
You set up direct deposit so it takes money directly from your paycheck straight into a savings account.
Very good. So who caught what the last speaker said? Did anybody catch what the last speaker said, the last gentleman?
Yes.
Joey, did you? Who, AJ, did you catch it?
You gotta do it yourself.
Yeah, you thought it was safer.
He thought it was safer. You guys caught it. That's excellent. Nobody in the last class caught it. Excellent. So he thought it was safer. So what do you think about that?
That's just, he's wrong.
He's wrong. Very good. Very good. I'm glad you guys caught it. That was really good. Okay. So you said everything goes into savings. Austin, what did you say again with yours? Do you have things go direct, do you have it go separate? Or do you transfer it yourself?
If I need money, I'll transfer it onto,
So you have everything go directly into savings?
all my work money gets put on a card.
It goes on a card, okay. And then if you need to use it, you transfer it.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have, Joanne, you have a job, so what do you do? Do you have direct deposit? And how do you have your account set up?
I
Just have a savings, you don't have anything go does anybody have a two-account system?
I
Does
just
it-
have a savings and
You just have a
direct
savings?
deposits in there,
And then if you need money, you just get out what you need. Does anybody see advantage to having two accounts sometime in the future?
Well, yeah, when you're old enough, you're making
When
a
you're
lot of
actually,
money, it doesn't make sense to put everything in savings. You just have to spend it anyways, so.
yeah, okay. All right, so now we're gonna read the second article for today. It is in this packet again, NerdWallet's 4 best money-saving apps. I thought it was really interesting, somebody in the last class actually has one of these apps. So let's, AJ, you read last, correct?
I think so. Maybe no, I didn't.
Noah, you ready to start?
Money saving app, it's gonna make the process of saving money easier over time. You can fill your piggy bank automatically so that savings goals can be met without stress.
Thank you.
Acorns. How it works. Acorns is an investment app that rounds up your purchases to the nearest dollar and automatically adds difference. Taken from a linked checking account to an Acorn account, that money is invested in a portfolio based on your income and goals. You'll earn a return on the investment. A basic taxable investment account costs $1 a month. Each Acorn portfolio is composed of exchange-traded funds with options that range from conservative to aggressive.
All right, thanks.
If you make later purchases using the card linked to your basic Acorns account with one of the company's partners, such as Airbnb and Blue Apron, those companies give you back a percentage of purchases to your Acorn savings account. Downsides, because your money is being invested to your savings, may shrink if there's a dip in the market where you've allocated your funds. It can also take several days to withdraw money from your account because shares in the invested ETF must be sold first.
So let's summarize real quick what this does. This app, what does it do, Jed?
It basically rounds your spending to the nearest dollar. It tells you how much you're investing and where it's invested, and you can set it up basically for whatever you need.
Yes, so every purchase you make, it takes this extra change, rounds up, so it's gonna make it easier to balance your account, right? And then the change, it invests for you, and the choices you have are either less risky or more risky. The more riskies are gonna have a higher return on investment, but you have a higher chance of losing money, right? That's what makes it risky. Okay, Julie?
Simple, best banking alternative. Alternative, yeah. How it
Alternative, yep.
works, simple, is the mobile first banking app with a free checking account, debit card, high quality budgeting tools, and savings sub-accounts all in one. The main account balance shows what is safe to spend, meaning your available funds minus money that goes towards saving goals or upcoming bills. The only fees are for paper checks and potentially out-of-network ATM operator fees, and a Visa foreign exchange fee. There are no monthly overdraft fees. One notable feature is simplest roundup rules. Opt in to round up every debit transaction, such as card purchases and online transfers to the nearest dollar. It automatically transfers the difference into a high-yield protection goals sub-account.
For simple, combined savings with budgeting seamlessly, making it easy to track spending and save up. Plus, the rate on our effective goals sub-account is high, 1.75%. Downside, Simple doesn't offer bill pay features. You have to pay bills directly either online or with checks.
All right, so Alex, how would you summarize this type of account? So this is a mobile bank that does sort of the same thing like the other one, right? But instead of going into an investment account, what does it do? It goes into a, what does it go into?
A protected sub-account.
Yes, okay. So, how do you think we say this next one? Capital? I think that's how we say it. It's kind of a crazy word. I know you said you weren't feeling good. You want to skip reading? Okay, that's fine. AJ, you want to read about capital?
Oh, yeah. Quapital, how it works. Quapital lets you set rules to automate savings. For example, every time you spend money, Quapital can round up the total to the nearest dollar and move the amount into a goal account insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or you can contribute a lump sum to your fund on a regular basis.
In an outside checking account to link it to Capital and funds your goals without withdrawing money from a Capital account takes 1 to 2 business days. Perks, the Capital spending account debt card is free to use for transfers and purchases, but has fees for using ATMs. Capital won't charge you, but the ATM owner might. Capital gives you the ability to create joint goals with family or friends, and you can set up various spending-related rules, such as rounding up a transaction to the nearest dollar, transferring the cents into a Capital saving goal, or setting up automatic transfers to goals. If you spend money at certain merchants, downside, you need to be a member to use the app, and there are 3 levels of membership that cost $3, $6, or $12 per month, respectively, with a higher tiers.
Yep.
Offering more customization and education resources. In addition, you earn only 0.10% interest, which is low for a savings account.
What do you think about that interest rate?
That's
That
crap.
sucks.
That's
The
nothing I get
natural
excited
interest rate
about.
is probably worse, so, I mean. it's
That's
better
nothing to
than
get excited
normal,
about.
It's nothing to write home about.
Alright, so digit. What about digit, Austin? That's another thing where it's rounding up transactions, right? So a few cents here, a few cents there, you're probably not gonna notice a whole lot of difference, are you? Alright, let's hear about digital, Austin.
Digit calculates what you can save based on your income and spending patterns, and transfers that amount from your checking into an FDIC insured digit account. And typically makes 2 or 3 savings transfers per week. There's a 30-day free trial period when you can sign up for Digit, but after that, it costs $5 per month. You'll earn a 1% annual savings bonus paid every 3 months based on the average daily balance kept in your Digit account during that period. Digit charges a $5 monthly fee because the amount taken out of your external checking account can vary. A digit transfer could cause an overdraft on that account. Digit refunds up to 2 overdraft fees triggered by digit transfers. And you can set up the app to limit the daily amount saved.
Using apps to save money. If you find it difficult to build a savings balance, using an app that automatically does it for you can be a good first step. Getting yourself in the habit of regularly putting aside some money and seeing your balance compound and grow can put you on track to successfully manage income and expenses. Once you have some money set aside, you can take the next step and open or contribute to a regular savings account.
How to open a savings account. If you don't have a savings account, you can open one by submitting an application either online or at the bank branch. You'll need to provide your social security number and contact information along with at least one form of identification, such as a driver's license or passport. For a joint account, everyone wanting access to the account must provide this information and ID. You generally can deposit money with cash if in person and by check, result with a bank transfer from an existing account.
How much should I have in savings? For a savings account that holds your bridge through work your way toward covering 3 to 6 months worth of basic living expenses. Multiple savings accounts or one that's divided into buckets can be handy with more money to reach specific goals such as education. But once you have a buffer for emergencies, try to begin building a retirement account investments for those dollars will earn more than your working savings account.
Okay. So, what do you think about these apps? Do you think any of these apps could be helpful in your everyday life?
I think any of them, it's just how much they are helpful.
I see where you're going with this. Tell me a little bit more.
Probably out of all of them, Acorn is probably the best.
And it's interesting you said that, because that's the exact one that the student earlier said that he had on his phone.
And I think, I don't know, maybe they've got a commercial even out for it.
Acorn?
Oh, I have,
I've heard
has anybody else heard of
I
Acorn?
think I've heard of it. I don't know for sure.
Yeah. So, what the student said, I thought it was really interesting that he was already investing. And we did talk earlier this semester about, starting to invest early. Because what happens when you invest early instead of choosing to invest larger amounts later?
You better returns in the long run.
Yep, in the long run, even though you can start with little amounts early, it makes a bigger difference later, right? Okay. Can you also see how if you take a little bit, especially when it's a savings account or a checking account, is it easier to balance your account when you're using round numbers instead of using the numbers that are not whole
Because
numbers?
who wants to keep track of cents? Nobody. Everybody's trying to keep track of dollars, so.
Right. Earlier I used Megan as an example. Do you remember earlier in the semester I told you for a graduation gift she got a bucket of money, a whole bunch of coins? She confirmed earlier today she got over $500 of coins in that bucket. The cents, I know it, the cents add up over some time, don't they? But do you miss it? You don't, yeah. Megan got $500 in that bucket. Yeah, you don't miss the few cents here, a few cents there, but over a period of time, it really adds up. It's an easy way to save, but you don't really miss it at the time. All right. So which one do you think would be more interest to you, saving or investing at this time if you chose one of the apps?
Probably investing.
Okay.
I could go either or.
Because we're young, so it's not like, there's a lot of openness as far as what we can do, because we're not to the point where we're fresh out of college and it's like, okay, time to get a job and then start really saving some money.
Okay.
So like, we're at this crossroads where we can go both directions, one direction or the other direction.
So you're saying right now you could take a little more risk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, honestly, probably saving for college.
You
Although,
would
yeah, that
choose
would be
saving
smart.
because you have
So that way you don't have
college.
to come out of college with as much debt.
Okay, I like your thought too. Okay. Do you think any of you might look a little more deeper into one of these apps?
Possibly.
Yeah?
chunks.
Okay.
If it
Alright.
makes sense figuratively, it makes sense literally, why not?
Yes, it does. I like it, Jen. Alright, so we're gonna watch another quick video here. So tell me, I know you guys know what interest is. Does anybody know what compound interest is?
That's where it like cycles once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year. Compound interest is over and over again.
Can you give me an example? What's
So
numbers?
like, if I have a bank account that has compound interest twice a year, that means every 6 months it earns interest. It earns interest again at the end of the year.
So you're earning
Cycles
interest
back.
on your interest?
Yeah.
I wrote that down, you're in.
Excellent. I like it. Let's watch this video. It's going to tell you something very similar to that. Oops. Uh-oh.
Snag.
There you go.
Thank
How's it
you.
going today, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic.
You know what? We had a problem. This is not the right video.
That was 10 minutes long.
That's not the video I tried to pull up. But I have it right here.
Compound interest is the interest an investor earns on his original investment, plus all the interest earned on the interest that has accumulated over time. It is easier to think of compound interest as interest on interest. To understand compound interest, let's first look at simple interest, the interest earned on the original principal only. Suppose you deposit $10,000 into a high-interest savings account at a 5% simple interest rate for 3 years. The interest you earn each year is 5% times $10,000, which equals $500, for a total of $1,500 of interest at the end of year 3. $500 plus 500 plus 500. Now instead, suppose that you deposit the same $10,000 at 5% interest compounded annually. In year 1, the interest you earn is the same, $500. But in year 2, the interest you earn is 5% times 10,500, the original amount plus the interest you earned in year 1. So the second year's interest is $525. In year 3, you earn 5% interest on $11,025, $10,000 plus 500, year 1 interest, plus 525, year 2 interest, or an interest payment of $551.25. In total, you earn $1,576.25 in interest over 3 years with compounding interest versus $1,500 with simple interest, a difference of $76.25. The effect of compounding becomes especially powerful over longer time periods as the amount of earned interest becomes larger and larger.
All right.
In real life, will they have different interest rates though? They will, like,
Yeah, a variable interest rate.
no, I mean, like, will the compound interest rates be lower?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense, I guess, doesn't make sense.
It depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at a savings account right now, yeah, it can be lower. When we're done, maybe when you guys are working on your exit ticket, I can look at what a savings account interest rate is right now. Okay, so, can someone summarize for me how the compound interest helps you accumulate savings even faster?
Because it's interest on the interest.
Hmm?
And so then, over time, that builds up naturally because you're adding in how, like, in the example there, the $500, you're adding that into the equation, which is making you, what, 25 more bucks, they said, and then that 25 bucks is making you, you know,
Yeah,
and just so on and so on.
exactly. How does the age at which a person starts saving impact the amount that they can earn in compound interest?
Well, if they do it at like our age, by the time they're like in their
70.
40s even or 70s, they'll have a lot of money due to compound interest.
Yep, makes a difference, the longer the time it is to build, right? Okay. Thanks for not saying when they're old and they're 40. So today's savings account typically offer rates below 1%. How does that impact the power of compounding?
It doesn't let you build your money.
Not as fast, right? Okay. So if we were saving for something special, so how much does a pair of ear pods cost? 200?
160.
160?
And dime.
How about, I was actually thinking they were like close to $400. Oh, shoot. Well, I did my sample math for 400, so let's pretend they cost 400.
Versions for $20.
Okay. Well, let's pretend today they're not on sale and we're buying something different for $400.
So TV.
So we're buying a TV, thank you. Thank you, Jaden. We're gonna save up to buy a TV for $400. If we think it's gonna take us 9 months to save up, we would have to save about $45 a month, right? So if we broke that down, it'd be about $11 a week we'd have to save, okay? If we broke that down, it'd be about $1.60 a day, right? So if you were trying to save for 9 months for your TV, how could you cut out $1.60 a day?
Quick Trip.
Don't get a coffee.
Quick Trip, at Quick Trip. So what do you buy at Quick Trip, Alec, or Austin? What do you buy at Quick Trip? A soda, okay. Anybody else go to the vending machine? Or you go to the vending machine? I appreciate that, it really helps FBLA, but that would be a way to cut out some expenses and save a little bit of money. If you buy one bag of chips, that's 75 cents, you're halfway there, right? Or just about halfway there, right?
You don't have to buy 10 apple juices.
You can buy 10 of them.
Buy half. It's 5.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, thoughts?
I don't know, like
Comment-
the whole,
comment interest?
you're only taking away $1.60, doesn't really sound like that much, but then when
No.
you start adding it up to everything else, then it's like,
And then you think about after only 9 months, 1 school year, every day, 1 school year, you're not gonna have a TV at the end of it. Think of after 40 years, what you could accumulate after that amount of time. You make a difference, can't it, Jed? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to have you put your name on your activity sheet and take a few minutes to do your exit ticket, and then I will collect them both.
You make your bed and turn.
Yeah, that'll be enough time. I would recommend over the weekend to check Skyward. We've got 1 week left in the quarter. And it will be really interesting to see what happens next week.
Hopefully we're still at school.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see what
It's a
happens.
day-to-day thing with this,
It's an hour-to-hour thing.
pretty much. Trump in about 15 minutes is supposed to have a national state of emergency declared.
Really?
And
Did you see that on your phone or something?
they have an article on Fox News and CNN, so.
Yeah, see, I already got this. Oh crap. I got this live thread already up so I can watch it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna watch it.
So right at the change of classes?
Yeah, like at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
2 o'clock our time, 3 o'clock Eastern time.
Huh. Maybe that can be part of sports marketing today. What do you think? Should we watch it?
How a virus affects
Oh, yeah.
The whole,
Yeah,
the whole state income.
What is this?
Yeah, your stocks must just be done for.
They might be, I don't know, it's up and down. I only put $1,000 in it, but I'm thinking about putting the rest in it because everything's cheap right now because everything's going downhill.
So earlier, well, that you and the other Jed, both of you today were talking about that. They're like, now's the time to buy.
Yeah, because buy low, sell high. That's what they
Yes.
always say.
Facts.
Yeah. That's so funny. The two Jeds
I should
today
invest
talking
in
about.
green and red arrows because I'd make it count, but.
So it was Caleb Scallon that was saying that he had the Acorn app.
Big deal.
Yeah. That was, you know, I think what is really interesting is, you know, some of these apps have fees on them. And I'd be interested in doing some of them, especially rounding them up into savings or into investing, if the fees would be minimal enough to make the,
Buck or two.
yeah, to
salary
make the
right away,
savings
you
or the
already
investings
got.
worthwhile.
Cause at like $12 a month, that's not gonna pay out evenly for a
Yeah,
while.
I was surprised at some of the membership fees and the rate fees. I mean,
I get a couple
$1,
dollars because
$2,
that makes
I can see
sense.
that being worthwhile, but membership fees, 3, 6, 12, I guess, I don't know, I guess when you think of what I spend grocery shopping there at Walmart and stuff like that, I
Yeah,
suppose
my
I
mom
could
will
probably make
spend
that
like
worthwhile.
$300 just on groceries
Yeah.
sometimes.
Load up the whole
Yeah.
It's like, holy moly.
daily or weekly trip to Walmart.
Yeah, you don't think it costs that much, and then, like, they finish, like, slitting everything through, and then you look at the thing on the
300, 400
like,
bucks.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
So last night, after all the talk about Walmart running out of toilet paper, I was sick last week, so, nothing got done. I go home last night, open the bathroom drawer. You wanna guess how much toilet paper I had in the bathroom
One
drawer?
roll.
One roll. You wanna guess what was on our roll of toilet paper? Like, the roll?
Not a whole lot.
It was empty. We had like one roll of toilet paper.
Are you kidding? I changed it. I got the last
When
one.
I got home yesterday, yeah, there was like
Yeah.
nothing on the roll.
Well, I just
and there was
changed it
one
that
roll
day.
in the drawer. I'm like, fantastic.
Did you get in here, or was it all sold out?
I messaged my husband and he found, it was sold out at Walmart, but there was some at Family Dollar. Are you still taping? Why don't we turn that off?
I saw a thing on Facebook and it said, I'll trade you a gun for one.